Hi, today I'm going to be sharing with you about an online game that helps students work on their reasoning skills and their argument skills. It's called Quandary. It's at quandarygame.com. It does not require an app or a download or a flash capability. It's a pretty straightforward online game. It starts with a graphic novel little setup where they tell you the story that you're going to be looking into. There's several different storylines available on the site, and each storyline has several different solutions, so it's something that students could return to several times if you chose to do that. In this particular situation, we're looking at a storyline where the predators have been eating the sheep of this futuristic colony, and the leader, who's the player, has been asked to help problem solve what they should do about that. They start by getting data, which means that they talk to different characters within the colony and then sort out what they hear from those people. They're sorting them into opinions or facts or solutions. So this is obviously a lower level skill, but one that the students practice before going on to the rest of it. So here's an example of an opinion card and an example of a fact card, something that they know. And finally, here's an example of a solution card. Some of them are not quite as blatantly obvious as these have been. There is a solution card that says, well, I think we should wait and see before we rush to a decision. And as we all know, not deciding is a decision. So once the students have sorted the cards, and they're not evenly balanced actually, so it's not something they can do just by guessing, they find out if they're right or not, and they get points awarded for that. And it looks like I did very well on my attempt. After that, they choose two of the possible solutions to look at more in depth. And what they do with those is they go back to those original characters and find out what they think, which is the same statement the person made initially. And then the student can click and drag into here one of the two solutions to see how that changes what the character thinks. The other thing that they can do is they can drag in additional facts that they have found out and see if that affects what the character thinks. And in this case, it did not. He said, "So what?" Guthrie's kind of grumpy. After that, the player makes a decision based from those two solutions they were looking at, and they send those off to the council. And the council wants to know about support. So this is where it really gets into argument and counter-argument or rebuttal. So first they have to identify a couple of characters who would not just agree, but have reasons to back up why they agree with the solution that the player chose. And then they're asked to find some, they want to find out what some arguments are against the solution that was chosen. From there, they get to go on and find out what is going to happen. But first they have to predict how each colonist will respond to the decision that they made. And it gets a little confusing because sometimes the colonists have changed their minds, which is, very human of them. At the end, you go back to this graphic novel type presentation and you find out how your decision played out in the long run. They also get a point total for how they did overall, and they can go back and do the same storyline, making different decisions, or they can move on to a different storyline which is set in the same world. And I would be using the same characters. So from here, we're going to look at how we could use that in the classroom. Thanks.